What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be playing Extreme Landing. It's a Windows Store game. It's pretty fun. I played it quite a bit, actually. I deleted the game because I didn't know how to like reset it without just deleting it, so don't be misled. I know it said 0 flight hours, but oh, hello. We've got to go through the bloody tutorial first. Screw that, I'll cut this part out for you guys. I've decided that I'll probably cut this back in now because, I mean, it's going to take a while. So, but this is, especially because I like starting the engines and stuff. So this is actually how you do it kind of in real life, sort of. You hold a button, the engines spool up, and then at a certain point the engines light off. It doesn't give you temperature here, but the turbine temperature, ITT is, I think it's internal turbine temperature, spikes. It's supposed to go no more than like 900 degrees, so it'll go 900 degrees for like half a second, then drop back down when the engine starts. Anyway, so let's, we're going to do this, and excellent. Starts up much faster than in real life. We'll just do all 4 of these. Okay, and now we'll hit 6 rather than actually do that thing. Okay, we're going to have to extend the flaps to what? Bring them down to 2. And full power. Get a rolling. Well done. Bring the plane to a speed of 170 knots and move the nose slightly up. You can tell this is an Airbus because the flaps are 1, 2, 3 and full rather than actual numbers. Alright, so we got full power and we're coming up on 150 V1. 170, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Bring the flaps to 10 or to 1. Stabilized. Flaps up. Good job, cadet. Now let's enjoy the flight. Piss off. Let's get up to 10,000 feet. It's gonna kick me off here any second, I think. Like it's gonna say, "Good job, you've done good work" and stuff. Oh, hey, there it goes. Mission complete. Next. Engine trouble. Oh, no. There's a long flight, just a little bit further. We should be, then we should land. Okay, very good. Oh, no! We've got a bit of an issue. What was that? Did you hear that? I did hear that, actually. That's why I said, oh, no, it seems to be coming from Engine 3. Engine 3 missing. Engine 3 found after a brief search. Alright. Oh, let's see if we can restart it. Idiot co-pilot probably shut it off. There we go. Seems okay, it has started. We need to understand what happened. Good point. Oh, bloody heck. Again? What? Is there something wrong with it? I'm starting to get worried. Yeah, me too. Especially because the engine switch keeps getting shut off. Alright. It seems to be that the co-pilot is switching it off. If the engine switch stayed on and it died, that would be different. Alright. Bring the throttle. Okay. Push the single throttle to full power. Okay, let's land quickly at the nearest airport. It's probably over here. I've got a feeling. Oh. Alright, let's go 3. Yeah, it's over here. Excellent, Smithers. Alright. Let's line up. Display. Excellent, excellent. And the ILS you can see on our attitude indicator, which would be the blue and green thing over there with the airspeed and altitude on it. The ILS is superimposed on there, so we can tell that we've got to go to the right a little bit, which means Tango, I'm looking at the black screen now with the radar in the kind of middle-ish of the panel down there. Tango, November, Charlie, Mike. It appears that little arrow is pointing us in the direction of the runway as well. Let's do full power and go to the engines, and nope, it seems to have brought engine 3 up to full power, so we gotta be careful about that. So let's go back to 6. Oh, let's go back to 3 for navigation. And we're just cruising right along. Align the plane with the runway, otherwise we'll not be able to land. Listen, sir, I'm trying. It just wants me to go straight in. We gonna die. Alright, fine, whatever. You don't have an approach in front of me. What am I supposed to do? Just go VFR. Oh wait, is that? It looks like you can see coming out of the 3 engine. I didn't notice that before. The number 3 engine. It's like oil or something coming out. Use the radar to align with the runway. I want to land as soon as possible. I don't feel comfortable with that engine. Yeah, neither do I, Jack. But the nice thing is, oh, shh. Do I have to go through all those? I probably do. Son of a mother duck. Lining up with the runway here. Now we gotta slow down so we can turn tight. And it looks like we're gonna miss the first one, but that's okay. Maybe we didn't need to go through all these. Nope, not getting any points or anything, so doubt that I got anything. So I'm gonna just leave the flaps and gear up and put them down the last second. This is not standard procedure, but it's a video game, so nobody cares. I'm gonna go full power and then go to the number 5 page and pull number 3 back. Okay. Let's go back to page number 6. We're going too fast with a speed of over 290 knots. Landing can't be lowered. Reduce the speed with the throttle of the air brakes. Son of a mother duck. Let me tell you what. We're going to do that quick, fast, and in a hurry here in a second. Alright, I'd say probably right about now. We'll go ahead and go throttles to idle. And we'll dump the flaps to 2. And we're below 290, so the gear can come down now. Alright, so now we've got flaps full. 250 is pretty dang fast, so probably hit some air brakes here, try to get down below 200, and the rest should bleed off pretty quick. There we go, we're on speed and on altitude according to the heading indicator, or the attitude indicator now, so pretty much perfect landing. Not a good approach. Throttle minimum and use the brakes. I'm actually using reverse thrust because I'm that cool. You can hear the engine spool up. Now go back. Hold the brakes. 5 knots. 4, 3, 2, 1. We have stopped. This old aircraft is going to give me a heart attack one of these days. It could be a brand new aircraft. If it's an Airbus, it's going to give me a heart attack anyway. Mission complete. Next. Landing gear is more important instrument to be able to land. I wouldn't call it an instrument, but okay. Learn to use it and repair it in case of failure. Aight. We have a bit of a crosswind, should be careful. Aight. Full power. A 3-knot crosswind. Yeah, that's going to be a real big problem for something this big. I need a 3-knot direct tailwind in a smaller plane like mine. Let alone a crosswind. Let alone a bloody jet. There we go. Open the landing gear. Oh, 290. It's got to slow her down. Get down on glide path. If there's any airline watching that I'm going to apply to eventually, I don't actually fly like this. This is a video game. Please hire me. Okay, gear down. Just got my commercial twin engine license. Didn't do the single engine add-on still, so I can't work for an airline yet. So I don't have an ATP, but, you know. Oh, the landing gear is not open. Let's come up here. Oh, we're gonna unlock it. Oh, that probably means, like, emergency gear extension. Nope, that didn't work either. Nothing yet. Try again. Nothing yet. Normally unblocks. Well, it's always until now. Great. Getting a little off course here. And we're getting pretty slow. Let's put the engines almost at the full throttle. Let's try it again. Hey, there she comes down. Perfect, it worked. Great. So actually I'm still slow. Now land this thing. Use the rudder to help if you can. Okay, yeah. Now I believe that the controls are a bit opposite here. Normally want to do this and then go into the wind like this, whereas in here it actually wants you to go straight and use the rudder to actually move the entire plane, which is not really how it works. Fun fact, actually, ooh, what did I do? Wrong button. That's cool though. Airbus, if you, oop, wrong button again. If you try to land with the crosswind, normally I have to put the ailerons so the stick to the, let's say, to the right and the rudder to the left. And if it's the other direction crosswind, you would do it the opposite way. In an Airbus, if you do that, it will override the left rudder and just turn the entire plane right, thinking that you want to turn rather than land with the crosswind. So you actually have to let it do auto land, otherwise it ain't gonna work for you. Alright, a little bit fast, a little bit fast, a little bit high, a little bit fast, a little bit high. Perfect speed, a little high. We're gonna float past the touchdown zone. Reverse thrust. Pull the brakes. Oh, I thought I was pulling the brake. Oh, bloody heck, wrong button. Again, that's alright. We've got them now. Slowing down nice and gently for the passengers in the back. Did we stop? Hey-oh! We stopped. I guess those hours of the simulator turned out. Trying out the unexpected came in handy, and they will still be as long as you remain in control of the aircraft. I don't know if I read that funny or if it's just worded badly, but mission complete nonetheless. Start the next mission. We're going to be in a very long flight. Tanks are completely full, so let's go. I just hit the flat button twice. You couldn't see it, but full power on all the engines. Man, this is actually slower. That's kind of cool. It actually simulates the slow takeoff. Okay, 140. V1. 10 knots to go. Oh, 170 rotate. Oh, just barely. Okay, let's bring the gear up. That's unneeded drag in any aspect. Because the flaps give you drag, but it also gives you a little bit of lift. So let's pull them up to 10 and see if we can speed this thing up. Okay, flaps all the way up. There we go. Something's going on. OMG, did you hear that? One of the passengers is seriously sick. We must go back to the aeroport. Great. Risk not being able to stop, which is true. Sometimes that's a problem. That JetBlue flight that had to land with the gear down, apparently the Airbus A319 does not have bloody, fuel dump, so they had to fly around for a couple hours, burn off that extra fuel. Okay, let's go over here, drain some of this fuel out of this side. A lot of this fuel in real life, when they do a fuel dump, what pisses me off is in the military, a fuel dump is standard procedure. Like, they do it every time they land for some airplanes. So it's just taxpayer dollars being dumped out of a plane. But, you know, whatever. Is this rudder? Yeah, it's rudder. Anyways, but the fuel will actually evaporate by the time it hits the ground, so that's kind of neat. Below 50, so there's 50 there. It'll probably still drain out a little bit. Nope, nope, it's not. Probably pull the throttle back a little bit. I think we need to get her below 50. Let's do this one real quick. There we go. There we go. And a little bit more out of this one. That's about as even as we're going to get, I think. Cool. Good job. Now we're lighter than we should. Oop, wrong button. I'm used to KSP with the Q, W, E, A, S, E, or ASD lights are the ones to go to for controlling the plane. So sometimes I'll go full throttle or cut the throttle depending on what I'm doing, because A and Q are throttles. So we're just going to keep her at full power for now. Kind of swing it around out this way a little bit. Please reduce the descent ratio. Never heard it called a ratio before. Heard it called rate, descent rate, and whoop, whoop, sink rate, sink rate. That's one thing that'll come on if you're screaming down. Also, whoop, whoop, pull up, terrain, terrain. Pull up. That's something you don't want to hear. Sometimes, actually, on the cockpit voice recorder, that's quite a few times. That's what comes on right before everybody dies. Whoop, whoop. Pull up. Terrain, terrain. And then that's kind of the end of that. Alright. Why am I coasting? Let's get this thing fired up and cruising. Okay, we're going down too quickly. I hope the sick bags are ready in the cab. I hope this doesn't fail me. You're going too fast. I know this. 290, let's bring the gear down. And let's put flaps full, why not? We can use the engines to keep our airspeed up as much as we need to. You know what? Let's do some stunts. Gear up, flaps up, full power. Let's see how fast we can slow this thing down. Going too fast. Reduce speed with the air brakes. Why not? Why aren't you telling me to do it with the throttle? I've got full power right now. You're telling me to put the brakes in. It's poor decisions, sir. Alright, let's chop the throttle. Dump the flaps, which do take a second to extend, so you kind of risk that little game. And once we hit 290, gear down. Brakes, because we are still screaming in here. 250. Oh, we're really fast. Which I knew. He was telling me the whole time, and I ignored him.
50, 30, 20.
Well, we landed real fast. That's okay. It wasn't too bad, I guess. It was only like 30 knots fast, which, again, is pretty, actually pretty fast. That's pretty significant. So we're stopping the aircraft. 40, 30, 20, 10, and 0 knots. Good help is arriving. Congratulations, partner. Looks like we saved someone's life today. Yee-hee. Put the flaps back up. Oh, wouldn't let me because we ended it. That's right. Mission complete. Weather conditions are important during this flight. Learn how to use weather radar, track dangerous areas. Ooh, is it a microburst? I think it is. So, a real microburst. Actually, I think I've done this one before, and it's very similar to what happens in a real microburst. So first you get a headwind, which makes your airspeed jump up. That number on the left there, that's just climbing through 260 right now, and there's 270, so hopefully you know what number I'm talking about. So microburst, yeah, so that's what he's talking about right now up in the top there. But anyway, so you run into it's a column of air going straight down, but when it hits the ground, it goes out, right? So if you're going through the center of it, first you get an increase in airspeed. And normally this, it's Delta Flight, I can't remember what it was, but there's some flight that we all learned about. But basically, before they knew what microbursts were or could detect them, they flew into one and crashed. I think everybody died. But basically, you get a bump in airspeed, so the pilot's like, what's going on? We need to reduce some power. So they get slow enough, they get slow to go on like a normal approach, but they don't realize they're in that headwind part. So then when it changes to a downdraft, their airspeed drops off a little bit, but then they get shoved down at 6,000 feet a minute, which is a lot for an airliner to try to keep up with. So they go full power, but then they go into the other part. Oh, I think I'm in it. Yep, full power, come up. Then they go out the other part, and it shifts to a 50-knot tailwind, and that usually makes them stall, and then they crash and everybody dies. But I'm through it right now, so we're good. Let's dump the flaps and dump the gear and probably hold the brakes because we're high and fast because we had to get through that microburst, which normally you go around now that we have technology to detect. I think there was 2 big crashes. One of them was Delta. I think the other one was Continental, but I'm not sure. But there were 2 major airline crashes that had to do with microbursts, and I don't think there's been any since then. And now Doppler radar was the big thing that helps, and then there's new types of radar on the airplanes as well that help with it. So activate thrust reversers because the wet runway, so we have less grip. That's also true, but I activate the thrust reversers on every landing. So happy to be on the ground. Yes, me too. Congratulations for following the procedure perfectly. What are you talking about? I went right through it instead of around it. Oh, whatever. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. Charged me $70 for these bags. That was a RV reference. Fast landing. Oh, perfect. This is what I've been doing pretty much the whole time. So my training is done now. Perfect. This is what I wanted. Alright, so we're going to go full power. We'll pull up this page. And let's get a bunch of airspeed by diving down. A minute 30, I think, is what we have to land and stop with. So there, that we've dived down, so we picked up a bunch of airspeed. We're going 340 knots right now. Come on, maybe 350. 360, and we're getting close. So let's go ahead and throttles to idle, flaps to full. The second we hit 290, we're going to go gear down. Let's do air brakes. Okay, gear down. I waited an extra half a second because my finger slipped off the key and my mic was in the way, so I had to look down and around the mic. I want to come over the threshold at like 170, which we might be able to do.
100.
Yep, there's 170. So we're going to just pull off the air brakes, or put the air brakes back to normal, I guess.
Retard.
Touchdown short of the runway. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Ah! I was hot-shotting it. I was trying to do extra good because it was on the YouTube. And flew too close to the sun. Whereas now I'm going to be flying too close to the water. That's alright. Try it again. So let's wait till 365 this time, maybe, to do all our stuff and things. It gives a little bit of extra float. There's 360, there's 365, and flaps full. Speed brakes, and gear down. Gonna let off the air brakes there, speed brakes. Let us float a bit longer, but we're getting close now. So it's speed brakes, there's 190, speed brakes again. Want to get this thing slow, touching down at like 150
200.
for short field. Extra slow in the air then just makes you stop easier on the ground, basically.
50.
But too slow means you stall, crash, and die. Oh, a little bit of a hop there. So we got full reversers, full brakes, stop, baby, stop. We've got 80 knots and she's slowing down. There's 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, and we've got 12 seconds to... yeah, we're fine. Look at that. Beautiful. I think we've got all three planes, or whatever they... is it planes? Yeah. So we got all three. Congratulations, you won 3 airplanes at the first attempt. When all airplanes to reach perfection. Hit the point. Ooh, this one's a little bit tricky. So we can do kind of our normal procedure. And so what I'm going to do here is drag it in, kind of hanging on the engines, so that we can just chop the engines and hit the speed brakes, and it will push us right down onto the spot exactly where we want to. But we're coming in way too fast right now. This is not the way, again, that you would ever do this on a real airplane, small or big, coming too fast and slow up at the last possible second, unless you had some sort of extreme emergency that, you know, like a fire. Fire is really the only thing I can think of where you would do something like this, whereas you would just come screaming in, and at the last second slow down and touch down. And usually if you have a fire, you're not going to an airfield, because if you try to make it to an airfield, you'll probably end up dying on the way there. You just ditch in a field if you have to. Just get out of that burning airplane.
500.
Okay, there's 180,
400.
170. So the nice thing about when you get slow, these speed brakes kind of shove you down too, which is nice.
50.
Oh, I missed it by like 100 feet. We'll try that again. Restart. Did it not? There we go. Full power! Maximum power. Pick up some speed, mostly because I'm just lazy, don't want to sit here and wait. Pretty much at the floor there. Pull up. Excellent, Smithers. Excellent. Now we're just cruising right along, having a great time. Let's see, at 2 miles, we'll dump everything. There's 2 miles, full flaps, no power, speed brakes, and there's 290, gear down, and hopefully we can just float all the way there with no added power. I think we're going to be able to float all the way there with no added power. See, and once we get below 200 knots, pretty much, is when the speed brakes will actually watch the plane. See how it kind of gets shoved down a little bit? So we're going to use that to our advantage here. Up, 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 up.
140, 20.
Damn it! One more time. One more time. If I make 200 feet again, we'll just call that good enough. Because even I don't want to watch it a fourth time. So again, with the pick up some airspeed, I know you say to yourself, this hasn't worked the last couple of times, so why would you try it again? Well, because it's better than trying to time it all the way from up top. You have to do that as a real pilot. I don't want to do that. That's boring when I can do this. Maximum power. What we can do, oh well, there's 2 miles anyway. I was going to say we could get stabilized a little bit sooner, maybe that would help, but alas, it is not to be, because at 2 miles is when I pulled everything anyway. So, but we can put in the speed brakes a little bit longer and put in some power, and that way we can actually get kind of a little bit more stabilized, and then we can use that to our advantage, so I can hit the brakes and pull power at the same time. But it looks like that might not work out so well.
150, 30.
Hey-oh, 20 feet. That's what we like to see. And full brake, full reverse. 70 knots, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Speed brakes are up, which means we've spoiled the lift. Put the flaps up, get some more weight on the wheels, which it doesn't matter at 20 knots, but we're gonna pretend like it does. Ooh, what do we do? What do we do? It's gotta be 3 airplanes, right? Congratulations, you have won 3 airplanes on your first attempt. Well, it was actually the 4th attempt, but whatever. Ooh, these are also fun. We got, what was it, 2,000 feet to get 3 airplanes? So again, let's pick up some speed, because I'm bored. Oh, I may have done this too much. Nope, we're fine. Look at that. 300 feet. 365 knots. And 1.5 miles. There's 290, gear down. 270, 250. We're going on 230 knots. Let's see if we can bring this thing over the threshold at 150. Now, with full flaps, you actually lose quite a bit of speed even without the brakes. But 200. Okay, we're at 152. Full power for just a split second. Oh, we're gonna hit the seawall. We didn't hit the seawall. Hey, look at that. So that was not great because we landed short, but my mic's in the way. That's what I'll blame it on. Oh, 500 feet. Oh, no. I think we missed. I think 2,000 feet was our 3 stars, or our 3 planes. Let's see. If it was 2,500 feet, I'll be okay with that. Oh, 2470. Let's see. Nope, $2,000 was our 3 stars. We're doing that again. We're not going to do it quite as aggressive. Let's actually try to follow the glide slope down a little bit better this time. We'll pull power to half right now. And see, the glide slope, what I'm talking about is those blue lines on the attitude indicator over there, or kind of that screen in the middle is what I'm looking at. And then we've got that little blue mark on the altitude. We are pretty fast, so we'll go engines to idle. Let's dump the gear, start putting in some flappage. Let's just do all the flaps. Okay, gear down, flaps down.
500.
500. Oop, that's the wrong button.
400.
Speed brakes.
200. 150. 30.
We pulled in, what is it, Air Korea who did that in San Francisco? I'm not sure I can make this in 2,000 feet. Let's try it one more time. See if we get stabilized early. Half power. 2 notches of flaps, bring the gear down. That way we're stabilized all the way out here, even though it is going to take a while. Now if I want to really screw up my chances of doing this, we'll bring the gear and flaps back up and go full power. There we go. Alright, let's dump the flaps and the gear for real this time. You see the airspeed's ticking down quite nicely. And our our altitude's looking almost spot on. We're like 10 feet low, but that's okay. Okay, concentrating now. There's 150 knots. We'll give her some power just to keep us from stalling.
50, 30, 20.
There. I think I touched down a little bit lower, and we'll kind of go back and forth here. Oh, 500 feet. Oh, do we make it? Do we make it? Do we make it? I think we made it, Jack. With 48 feet to spare. We did have to do a 180 on the runway, which isn't ideal, but, you know. Oh, gently as we can. Let's see what we can do about this. And this is one I think I'm going to want to drag it in. Just drag it in. Let's do 2 notches of flaps. We don't need to go full flaps. And oh, we gotta wait for the speed to get below 290, and we'll dump the gear right now. See if we can get slowed down a little bit. No need to touch down above 200, but we'll try to touch down probably about 200 or 190, and then we can dump the rest of the flaps and hit the brakes and reversers. This looks pretty stabilized to me. One about 190, 185, somewhere in there.
50, 40.
Gently, gently, gently. I think it was below 10 feet per second was our, put the flaps all the way down there, was our 3 planes, but we'll see here in a second. Put the flaps up. In real life, when you put the flaps up, it puts weight on the wheels, which helps you brake, which is really important, especially kind of at lower airspeed. So let's see. Congrats! 10 feet per second was our thing. So, ooh, fast as possible. Minute 30. Let's try it. Is this the one? Yep. This one is a pain to get down and stopped in a minute 30. There's 20 seconds already, and you have to do, trust me, it took me a long time to do this, so. Alright, let's go ahead and put the flaps full, and I'm not even sure that I've got it right, because it's been a long time since I've done it too, so. Oop, brakes, 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 brakes. And we can't do reverse thrust in the air. I think we may be coming in too fast to do this. We'll see. I think we may overshoot. If we touch down before they're down unlocked, we crash. There, they're down unlocked. Let's see what we can do. We've got 12 seconds. We didn't make it. Okay, so I'm gonna try to. Here's what we'll do here. So we're gonna go full power and tip it pretty much straight down right away. This has got to be a glitch in the game or something, because you saw that's like the most aggressive thing you can do, and we still didn't make. We might have made it. So I mean, there's no way that you could get it from that altitude. 22,000 feet. We were at cruising altitude, and they say get it on the ground in a minute and a half. I don't think so, Jack. That ain't happening. Okay, at 10,000 feet, we'll dump the flaps and go throttle idle. And speed brakes all the way. Oh, I think we're going to run into the exact same problem. Might even be worse this time. I thought we were about 400 knots at this point in the last landing. Okay, we're gonna go up a little bit, get it slowed down so we can put out our landing gear. I think we are not gonna make this one either. Okay, so we've got to go out more to give us some more room to slow down.
150, 20.
off the end of the runway. And I'm probably going to break the landing gear. Yep. That might have been EMAS, which is kind of interesting. Alright. So we're going to go full power, nose down, get us into descent. We're going to go 60 degrees down and flip it around this way and keep it at 60 degrees so we're actually moving away from the... Let's go 45 degrees the other direction. That way we're actually moving away from the runway, so hopefully that'll give us a little bit of extra room to get it slowed down a little bit. It's 15,000 feet, 14,000 feet, 13,000 feet, 12, 10, throttle idle. Oh, I had my... Oh, we're not going to make this one either. Okay, now we know maybe 40 degrees the other way. But, oh, this is looking a lot better, actually. Not a lot better, but better anyway. So we're going to go up. So we can put the gear down. Get slow. Get slow. Get slow. Get slow. Get slow. Alright, now we've got
1,000. 500. 300. Minimums. 40.
Dang it. We wouldn't have made it though. 14 seconds is not enough to slow down. So full power, tip it nose down right away. Let's do 30 degrees down. So that way we're actually going away from the airport. Well, no, let's do 40, because it was 45 last time. We didn't quite have enough room. So just going not straight down, but we're getting ourselves a little bit of space. That way we've got some time to slow down to get that landing gear down. What we might do next time, and I didn't even check, is if we're below 1 or 290 at the start, which we probably are, I might hit the gear and then they'll come down at that point. In real life, obviously, they'd shear off, but this ain't real life, Jack. Okay, we're looking slightly better here, I think. There's 50 seconds. Okay, come on, baby, slow down, slow down. We got 30 seconds to get this thing on the ground and stopped. Air brakes. Flaps full, gear. 20 seconds to get her stopped, and we can't touch down until that light stops flashing, otherwise it'll instantly crash. Lights stopped flashing now.
20.
Get on the ground, you pig! Oh, 12 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, we didn't make it. What do we miss it by? 6 seconds. Let's see. Let's try it one more time and let's put the gear down immediately. Okay, gear's coming down. And we went full power. Let's get this nose down. So I'm actually not going to put the flaps down because I want to get going fast on the way down to get us, down fast, obviously. 21,000 feet. There's 18,000 feet. We'll go flaps full. Start pushing the nose straight down. See if we can pick up some extra speed this way. 430 knots. 8,000 feet. Go throttle idle. Brakes.
2,500.
Okay, we've got 30 seconds to get this thing stopped.
500. 200.
And we're going to be able to plant it a little bit sooner than... There we go. Oh, we've got reverse thrusters in the air. I don't know if it actually is registering them as reverse thrust or if it's just playing the sound. Oh, we've got 15 seconds to slow down 150 knots. Let's see what we can do here. Let's fishtail it back and forth. I think that helps. I don't know. I think if we turn, it will actually help. 2, 1, stop, you little. One more time. That was better. Put the gear down, and I think one of the reasons why it didn't work out as well is because I didn't push the nose down right away. Okay, let's go Let's do 40 degrees down. I think that worked pretty well. That was the time we almost made it without doing this gear trick. And just full power. Let's go 60 degrees down. Because the last time worked so well, why would we do that again? Okay, let's go straight down, because with the gear down, it's actually keeping us pretty slow. Okay, let's put in full flaps. And speed brakes, we're at 430.
500. 1,000. 500. 300 minimums.
Come on, baby. If we're working at 10 knots a second, we might actually make this one. Oh, no, 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 no. Stay together, stay together. Oh, too fast. Straight down. Yet again. Pick up a bunch of speed. There, we're past 450. So let's go out to 50 knots, or 50 degrees to move us out a little bit. Let's go to 40 degrees, move us out a little bit more. 20 degrees there. That gave us a lot of extra space. We can come back down to 60, 70. Okay, we're going to go throttle, idle, flaps full, speed brakes deployed. And we're dropping airspeed like a bad habit. Look at us go.
1,000.
This does not look nearly as good as the last ones.
100.
Touchdown at like 250. Anything faster is going to break the landing gear. Ah! Let's try this one more time. There, I think I may have caught it a little bit better. It's really split second timing is making a difference, I think, in the beginning. Let's go straight down to pick up to 450 knots, and then we'll go to 40 degrees. Bring us out a little bit. 10,000 feet, we'll go idle and full flaps and whip it around. Maybe 8,000 feet, we'll do that. Okay, there's 8,000 feet, we'll go full flaps. Throttles to idle. Speed brakes. Come on, baby, slow down.
1,000. 500. 300 minimums.
Gonna keep the plane off the ground until let's call it 230.
30. 20.
Okay. Oh, come on. No, we don't want to go in the dirt. That'll break the runway, or that'll break the landing gear. Don't. You know what? I'm going to call it quits now. It's been a while. We'll start out on this one next time. So thanks for watching Extreme Landings, and be sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff.